رمضان 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 يا حبيب رمضان.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم اللهم تسليما كثيرا. وبعد. All praise due to Allah and His praise and blessings and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, his companions, and his followers until the day of judgment. I bear witness that Allah is the only one worthy of worship, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his last and final messenger. We've been talking about the things that Ramadan should inspire us to change in our life. And one of the common acts of worship that we do during the month of Ramadan is a dua. And I hope that during the month of Ramadan, we start looking at a dua in a different lens, seeing it in a different perspective. A dua is such a great act of worship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used a dua as synonymous to the word ibadah. قال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم إن الذين يستكبرون عن عبادتي. Those, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, pray to me. Those who are arrogant to worship me. So He basically used the word dua and the word ibadah, praying, supplicating, and worshipping in the same meaning. وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُ مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. The masajid belong to Allah, so do not make dua. It means do not worship other than Allah. When Allah spoke about the Ramadan and the rules of Ramadan, in the midst of these verses, He mentioned, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. Ya Muhammad, if they ask you about me, I'm near, answering the call. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always there to answer our calls. Ajib. Whenever you want to meet someone important, when you want to talk to someone important, you need to reserve a time. You have a limited time with that person. You need access to that person, and if you want to talk to that person, you have to go to them. It's interesting. Can you imagine you want to meet and to talk to someone who's so important? You name it, whoever that person is. From a sheikh or a scholar to a president, king, prince, businessman, leader, representative, elected official, you name it. Your boss. It's not as easy as you basically want it to be. But with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most powerful, the most high, La ilaha illallah, He is there for you anytime you want, 24/7. All what it takes from you to raise your hand and you say, Ya Allah, and He's there for you. And it doesn't matter how long you take. It doesn't matter if there's no appointment. It always is always ready for you. It doesn't matter if you repeat your request many times. With human beings, you ask 2-3 times, khalas, I told you no. Or you get bored with you. Allah never get bored with you. No matter how long you do it, no matter how many times you repeat it, He's always willing and welcoming you. Ajib. And anytime you have an instant access to Him. Sometimes when I call, and I get this answering machine telling me, please stay on hold, your call will be answered in the order it was received. I said, can you imagine this has happened when you make dua? An angel tell you, your call will be answered in the order it was received. No. It's 24/7 access to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's amazing. And you speak your language, your own words. And you pray to Allah Azza wa Jal. So if this is the case, no doubt that this is a great ibadah. That's why Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah." Ad-du'a is al-ibadah in Sunan Abi Dawood. And then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Inna akrama shay'in indallah, the most honorable act of worship is a dua. And the most honorable person is the one who makes dua. What I want us to think about is when we think about a dua, what needs to be changed when it comes to dua? I have several points. Number one, when you think of a dua, think of it as an opportunity for you to have a conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what really a dua is about. You know, when Allah wants to speak to us, He revealed the Quran. But when we want to talk to Him, all what we need, we raise our hand and we make dua. Think of a dua as an opportunity to have conversation with Allah. Makes you closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. One time I was traveling and with my mother-in-law, and basically she's a woman, mashallah, and he always care for making dua and prayers. And so one of her suitcases didn't arrive. We're in Cairo. And she said, let me make dua for it first. I said, hey, you know, all the bags arrived. If it is here, it will be in the belt. If it's not in the belt, it means it's basically didn't arrive to Cairo airport. She said, well, you just wait. Now I thought I have a PhD in Aqidah, I study Shia, study Islam, and I'm a Sheikh and all this. And she's not. But she told me something really moved my heart that day. She said, Walid, this is an opportunity for me to make dua. She raised her hand and she made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that her bag comes safe. She see this, it's not about the bag. It's not about what you want. It's about that this is an opportunity for you to speak to Allah. Opportunity for you to come closer to Allah. To please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with this special act of worship. If we can frame a dua this way, our basically way of looking at dua will be different. That's why Umar radiallahu anh said, إِنِّي لَا أَحْمِلُ هَمَّ الْإِجَابَ وَلَكِنِّي أَحْمِلُ هَمَّ الدُّعَاء. I don't care about the answering of my dua. What I care about the most is a dua itself, to be able to carry this conversation. Let's have a quick break, and we come back to continue our discussion about what needs to be changed about a dua during the month of Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala.
Ramadan, 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 ya Habib, Ramadan, 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 ya Habib, Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to your program, Ramadan, the month of change. We talked about earlier in the first part of this episode about a dua. And there is certain things I would love to see us changing when it comes to how we see a dua, how we deal with a dua. And I said the first point was that you see a dua as an opportunity to have this conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And my second point is that anytime you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't be frustrated if you don't get what you want. You know, I tell my students, I tell my community all the time, Allah answer all dua. Every dua Allah answer. But sometimes the answer is no. Yani, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 3 things. He gave him 2 and he said for 1 no. Ibrahim asked for his father to be guided. The answer was no. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked for his uncle to be guided. The answer was no. Nuh asked for his son. The answer was no. Not every time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you what you want. We need to understand that about a dua. We need to basically frame it the way that one of the scholars said. Inni ad'u Allah, I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about something that I want. If He gives it to me, I'll be happy. But if He doesn't give it to me, I'll be much happier. They said, how come? He said, because I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses for me something else. And what Allah chooses for me is better than what I choose for myself. Wow, that's an interesting perspective. That's why it's been said, لا تعبدوه ليعطي ولكن اعبدوه ليرضى. Do not worship Him because you want Him to give you what you want, but you worship Him so He will be pleased with you. فإذا رضي أدهشكم بعطائه. If He's pleased with you, He will surprise you with His generosity. What I want us to do is to have the trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah always wants the best for us. One of my friends told me once that he was in Hajj and giving a talk in one of the Hajj groups. So he need to move from one group, Hajj group, to another. So he will take like a ride with a guy who has a motorbike to basically transfer him from one side of Mina to another, to the other side. And he said, I saw this young kid smoking, so I took the cigarettes from him. He said, hey, you're so young. And I talked to him. He gave me the cigarettes. He said, I took the packet of cigarettes, put it in my pocket, and I said, khalas, tawbah. He said, you're too young for that. You know, you're not even supposed to be smoking because you're too young for it. And it was quick. He gave it to me. I put it in my pocket, and I moved quickly to the other group. So I talking to them about Al-Quran and how important that you read the Quran and you focus on the Quran. And he said, like, one of my habits that I always carry a Quran with me, like a Quran in the size of my pockets, you know. And he said, I reached to my pocket, I pulled the Quran, but instead I pull up the cigarettes back in front of everybody. And I looked at it, I looked at the people. For a second, I said to myself, Ya Allah, why? You know that I took that packet to save these kids, and I'm here to please. For a second, kind of asked myself, why? But I said to them, hey, wallahi, this is not mine. It was very embarrassing. He said, that's not my cigarette. He said, that's what happened. Exactly. I told him the story. Then the talk became about cigarettes. And I talk about how bad this habit is and blah, blah, blah. So one guy stood up and said, Sheikh, Jazakallah khair. You know what? I've been smoking for 20 years or so. I'm going to quit today. This is the last day of my, me as a smoker. Another guy stood up, went to his suitcase, pull out like packets of cigarettes, and he basically stepped on them in front of everybody. He said, Sheikh, wallahi, I will quit smoking, because he gave a good advice about smoking. 3-4 people quitted smoking that time. For a second, he thought, why? Why the embarrassment? But Allah has some other plan for him. Allah made him the reason for 3 people that night to quit smoking. Trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to build that trust that not everything that when we see that Allah doesn't give it to us, we just start having these doubts about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have doubt that He has more knowledge than anyone, more wisdom than anyone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so patient. Allah makes things according to His timeline, not according to our timeline. So many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hold back so many things that we ask Him for because He knows that is not the best for us. And if you have it right now, you will not benefit from it. He want to keep it to be given to you in the time when it will benefit you the most. Or if it's not good for you at all, He will take it away from you. He wants the best for you. He knows you better than yourself. He knows you better than your parents. He knows what is the best for you and good for you. So trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as He wants you to be, and He will be for you better than what you want from Him, or more than what you want from Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do whatever He wants. Nuh alayhi salam didn't drown. His ship didn't sink in the flood. Ibrahim wasn't burned in the fire. Ismail wasn't slaughtered by the knife. The well did not kill or kill Yunus, Jonah. The sea didn't drown Musa and his people. The Roman soldier could not touch Isa alayhi salam. The kuffar of Quraysh couldn't kill Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When you are with Allah, Allah will be with you. So have that trust in Allah every time you raise your hand. And remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you one of 3 anytime you make dua. He give you what you want on the instantly, or delay it. Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't give it to you, but He give you in return a reward. It's been said in the Day of Judgment, people will say, we wish our dua never was accepted, because the reward we see is more beneficial to us in the akhirah than the dunya. And the third one, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save you from something evil and bad was supposed to happen just because of your dua that it wasn't accepted. That's why Rabi'ah said, Subhana man man'uhu ata. Even when He doesn't give you what you ask for, He already gave you something else. I wish that we change that perspective about dua, so our dua will be more powerful. Our yaqeen, our belief in the dua will be much better, inshaAllah ta'ala. Take advantage of this month. to develop these meanings when it comes to dua, that will bring us to the end of this episode. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from all of us our good deeds. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ramadan.